Hello, you beautiful internet people. Welcome to another episode of Kanpai Cast. We are up to episode 5 already. It feels like just yesterday when we started. I know it's a huge milestone.
I kind of wanted to go 5.
5 episodes. Yes, so I'm once again joined by my cohorts, Xenogelion and MDRLOz. Welcome, welcome. How are you two doing this fine week?
Yes.
Yes?
I'm a JoJo character.
I'm happy that he's a JoJo character.
I'm a JoJo character.
He doesn't know what JoJo character he is, but I'm happy that he's a JoJo character.
I'm a JoJo character.
He's actually a JoJo as well, so...
I'm actually a JoJo character.
So now you can actually say
I think I actually have seen this character, I just can't remember. I have seen the first 2 seasons.
Now you can actually say that Kanpai Cast is a JoJo reference.
Yes.
It's special.
Actually, Loz, can you do you have the ability to pose at all? Like,
describe how you want me to pose. I mean,
just pose, man. Do you even pose? Dab.
Is he dabbing?
I'll dab. No, that's just wrong.
No.
That is wrong. No, I feel bad now. I feel dirty. So dirty.
Podcast over.
Yep.
Just ruined it.
So,
okay.
No.
So
it's a bit hard. I would say I was trying to put 2 different poses, but it is a bit clunky. Like if I put my hand on my head, I mean, actually, that sort of works a bit, I guess. But like where, yeah, there's my hand on my chest, and I've lost my arm. There we are. So it's a bit clunky how things work. Yeah, it's very hard to pose.
So I also do not know who this JoJo is, but I do know that he is a hero. And that brings us to our topic this week: not the hero's journey. What makes a good protagonist? My goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know well because I am a good protagonist. Because
are you a good protagonist?
I think I am. Though I don't come up in this episode. I don't think.
Well, yes, we're going to start with the hero's journey, which is where our protagonist will live.
I'm hoping we're going to actually start with housekeeping.
Oh right! Shoot, you are correct, sir. Oh my God, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons.
Yeah.
I'm no longer the manager, not manager, producer.
Yeah.
Right. So housekeeping this week. We do have memes in the pipeline, but we can't do them quite this week. Deckboard is still giving us issues, as evidenced by the fact that I am controlling Deckboard and Xeno is not. But hopefully next week we're really working hard on it. I would love to have it for you next week. I've already got a couple in mind that I want to show off. The other one is we are still trying to grow this lovely channel. I would be so appreciative if you would like, comment, and subscribe, and spread the word to all your friends on every social media network that you're on.
You didn't read what I wrote. You didn't read the horrible pun I wrote.
You wrote a pun?
Yeah.
Oh,
that would be
animazing. That would be animazing.
Yeah.
That's what I get for not pre-reading the notes.
Right, okay. Let's move into the actual topic itself. Let's get the
right. Yes. So we've put this down before you put up the thing. Yes. So just so everyone knows, we're going to be talking about protagonists today, and we're going to split. But rather than just generically mumble and rumble on about what it is to be a protagonist, we decided to split this into 2 key points. So there's going to be what makes character attribute-wise an important protagonist. But before we do that, when you think about the environment and the world setting they're in. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the hero's journey. Then we're going to go on to have some breakdown of points. What do we think what good points for a good protagonist? And what's a oh, there's Shinji on screen. There's a bad protagonist right there. I'm going to do that.
Don't
and then we're going to go. He's on screen. And then we're going to bring up some examples to round off the episode, where we're going to apply what we've looked at and discussed in our hero's journey points, in our good and bad attributes, onto examples from anime or of different series. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start with we're going to start with a teaching lesson, and we're going to teach everyone here what the hero's journey really is. Because I think I know a fair bit about it, Nasuth has heard a little bit about it, and Xeno has no clue what the hell I've been rambling on about for the last half an hour. Right, so, just so people don't know, the hero's journey, it is in almost every good story you have ever heard, where there's a hero or someone going on an adventure, it follows this. It really does. It follows these set points. This comes from, I've got it here, just so you're learning, a book from 1949 by Joseph Campbell, called The Hero with 1,000 Faces. Now, I mean, we're going to be applying this to anime, but I want to point out that you can apply this to historical stories, biblical stories, legendary stories. It is so applicable. It is just, it's like there's a secret code that was behind all these stories, and this is it here. So let's go through these points. So, what is the hero's journey?
It's almost like it fits into archetypes that ring true with all sorts of humanity.
Oh, look at that! Using all the clever words instead of me with my mumbling along. Yes, no, that is true. That is exactly bang on the money with probably almost a definite dictionary definition there. Right, so let's go through it. Let's take Xeno on the hero's journey. So you've not ever heard this before, Xeno?
I've heard of it, but that's about it. Just the name, that's it.
That's about it, yeah. So it is the archetypal structure that a hero's story will follow. Now, I just want to preface this at the same point. There's going to be like several steps we're going to go through. I've got a little blurb for each of the steps. I hope you can read that on screen. We've chosen one that looks pretty good. Can we have it bigger? I think there's a preview option, isn't it, for us?
Oh, if you want to see it here.
I mean, it's probably best not to screw with that, but...
Oh, okay, no. That's fine. I've got it on this here, but I just like looking at things. Yeah, but anyway, so just want to preface saying we don't need to follow all of these points, and these points don't always have to be in this order, because I don't want to start reading through it, and people are thinking, oh, well, I can think of this example where that's later. And so it doesn't... The structure isn't 100%. Things can shift around a bit, and you don't have to hit every beat, but... yeah, everything follows us. So, we begin at the top.
I'm sorry. It's just, I don't mean to interrupt. Well, I do mean to interrupt, but I hate to interrupt. It's just so weird hearing this lesson coming from that face.
Jojo.
Yeah.
Teaches you about the hero's journey. Right. So this is why I haven't got the exact one on screen. What does it say for the top? We begin at the top in the middle.
The ordinary world.
The ordinary world. Yeah, so there's a few differences. Mine's called the ordinary life here. So what do we start at the start? This is the beginning of our hero's journey. Most of the time, the hero starts out living in a normal, everyday life. Everything is familiar, comfortable. They feel uneasy, uncomfortable, dissatisfied, then something happens that awakes them up to the fact that something is wrong. So this is our starting point for our hero. They'll be in let's just make up one on the spot. So they live on a farm, and they just, with their parents were killed, and they live with their grandparents on a farm, but everything is fine. They just wake up every day in their idyllic life. And then we move on to step 2. What's it say there?
Call to adventure.
The call to adventure. Depending on the hero, the problem could be external, such as a catastrophe happening in the world around them. For others, the problem is internal, such as becoming aware of the deep dissatisfaction with some aspect of life. After being exposed to this information, the hero feels called to do something about it. The hero is challenged to take action and step into the unknown. So our first one was about a farm boy. Possibly, I put him on a farm with their grandparents, let's say on a desert planet, and then all of a sudden a person comes along and says about how, here's a lightsaber. Oh, I wonder what that's about. Right. What's step 3?
Meeting the mentor.
Meeting the mentor.
No. Refusal of the call.
Yes, there we go.
Sorry, yes. Yeah.
I thought it's right. Yeah, so step 3, refusal of the call. Often at first, the hero fails to answer the call. They are afraid of what it will take. They don't think they can do it. They don't think it will be too hard. They think it will be too hard. They feel insecure, inadequate. Their familiar life of comfort calls to them to resist this new adventure. They hesitate, but they become increasingly aware that there are real consequences if they do not act. Something meaningful will be lost. I can't go a journey with you. I've got to help pull the moisture from the moisture farm tomorrow or something. Not at all linking to a famous story. Then we move on to step 4.
Sorry, legitimately,
yeah.
Does that happen?
I'm doing Star Wars.
Does that happen in... Yes, I know you're doing fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right? But does Luke reject the call?
He does. This is why it's... Yeah, just to point out, so his step 4 and step 3 are the other way around. He meets the guide. He meets Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi says about all these things, and he says, I can't be this. I've got to look after the.
Yeah, his call to adventure is wanting to join the rebellion initially.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Well, yes, he wants to go because his friends have gone, and he thinks, and then his uncle says, one more season, I need you to do this. Yeah. Then he meets Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi tells him this great story, and he says, I can't do that. There is a one line or something where he does refuse the call. And then they go back. To the farm. Yes, and that is still him refusing the call. He's going back to his ordinary life, which is the farm, only find it turned up down. So step 4, which in Star Wars is what we're doing in the background here, which is a great example, you see, is the guide. So that's the 4th step. In most stories, the hero meets a guide, a mentor, or a helper that provides vital advice and points them in the right direction. The timing of the appearance of the guide varies. Oh, there we go. And so if the hero refuses the call, often a helper of some type appears to nudge them into answering the call. Sometimes the guide continues to return to the hero to help them move along their journey. Luke, today you must. However, the guide never saves the hero to do anything for them. The hero does not need to be saved, but at the same time, the hero never does it all alone. There's a little bit of wiggle room, obviously, because you got the bit where Obi-Wan chops off the guy in the bar, but that you could chop that out, and it doesn't really detract from the journey. You know, it just shows how weak Luke is, which is a separate thing, which is what will come on later, the attributes. Anyway, so what we're up to on that list? What's next?
Crossing the threshold.
The threshold. This is the pivotal moment where the hero officially leaves the ordinary world and steps into the journey in a way that they cannot turn back. This is the decision point. This is when the hero begins their quest. Oh no, my aunt and uncle have been shot.
I wanna ask. So the way that this diagram is set up,
yes,
we've now entered the dark part of the hero's journey. Is that relevant to bring up now, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things that's left out of this chart that's not that's in the other ones is the known world and the unknown world. And so the white part is the known world, and the black part is the unknown world.
Right. Okay. So yeah, this would be very much like Luke going to.
As soon as he leaves his nice safe home of Tatooine,
Yeah, going to Mos Eisley, getting pulled into the Death Star. Yeah, okay, cool.
I mean, even though he lives on Tatooine for his life, you notice how Obi-Wan says, Mos Eisley, a big hive of scum and villainy. Like, clearly Luke's never even been there.
Yeah.
Right. Where are we up to?
So did you finish crossing the threshold?
I don't know, did we?
Yes, no, we crossed the threshold. Right, now, the white and the black. So not in all stories. Sometimes I can't remember what they refer to it as. Like the white area is like the safe, and then the black is like the unknown or the shadow world or whatever it's called. It's out of the comfort zone, basically, sort of thing. So what's in there next?
Tests, allies, and enemies.
Nice. Mine's called the Road of Trails. I got a different thing here, but yes. The entire purpose of a quest is for the hero to learn, grow, and, become the hero. In order for this to happen, there are inevitably obstacles they must to overcome, challenges to meet, and tests of strength of will. The hero will learn the rules of this world. Learning force powers. There will be moments of victory and moments of defeat. Oh no! There goes Obi-Wan. The hero will meet allies. Oh, hello. Chewbacca, who will help them face their foes. This is the action and adventure part of the story that keeps people engaged, waiting to know more. If the hero just went right from the decision to the victory, no one would watch, and it wouldn't make for a very fulfilling real-life story either. There is always more meaning in the underdog story, right?
Yeah.
So this. I mean, obviously, I think we had another example where they were size gated in different acts, but it's a fluid system, but it's the overarching thing. This is here. We meet Han Solo, we meet Chewbacca, we go to the Death Star, we lose Obi-Wan, we find the princess. Yeah. These are all parts of that. What's next?
Innermost cave.
Right, the approach of the innermost cave. This is the turning point when the hero finally goes all in. They reach the point when they are 100% certain what must be done. They are ready to accept the risks and the possibility of failure. The second decision point happens when the hero approaches the innermost cave. The next threshold could be something literal, such as having to enter the cave which contains what the hero fears most, or the ultimate challenge the hero must face. It can also be entering into the hero's darkest places, their inner conflict, their demons. The hero prepares to face the one big thing that they have been putting off. Often the hero rests briefly to reflect on the journey, summons the courage to face the treacherous road that awaits. Tension escalates in anticipation of the ultimate test.
So this is before doing it. This is the lead up to doing the big thing.
Yes.
Cool.
I think we have a scene in Star Wars, for example, The Reflection, when Obi-Wan's gone and they're on the Millennium Falcon and Leia comes and comforts him with puts a drape over him, and he says, I can't believe he's gone and all this stuff,
You only met him earlier today.
Exactly, I know, it's true, but still. Right, what's the next step?
Ordeal.
This is the ultimate test. In movies, this part is called the climax. It's the peak of the action. The hero must face their greatest fear or face their most terrifying foe. One way or another, the hero must face death, whether literal or figurative. The hero uses the skills and experiences they picked up along their journey, along their journey through the challenges and their innermost cave in order to face this final challenge. It's the hero's moment of truth. Everything is put on the line, and the hero moves forward, knowing nothing will ever be the same. It can't. This must be done, and looking back, it is obvious that this moment was inevitable.
So it's a good thing.
Lewis.
Yeah,
Use
it's a
the
good thing
force.
he knew how to,
Pull
fly
off.
an X-wing.
Give it. Was it? Yeah. Was it? Give in to your feeling.
I can't remember, but next we have reward.
Transformation reward I've got here. The hero defeated the enemy, survived, overcame. But more than anything, the hero is transformed, like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. Out of the ashes of death rises a phoenix of symbolic rebirth. The hero receives a reward in some form, whether it is recognition, power, wisdom, reconciliation, a treasure. But in the end, no matter the price, the true reward is always the glory of personal transformation itself. The real change is internal. When we go from a farm boy who just collects moisture to the hero of the rebellion who destroyed the Death Star and reignited the fight against the Empire. Yes.
Next, we have the road back.
Yeah. Now, so I always don't like this part of the story because it's sometimes very hard to fit this one in, because this is where you come to more the fantasy setting where, because if you think back to Greek times, you go off, fight the Minotaur, and you come back and your home's exactly as it is. It's a bit hard to fiddle this one onto like Star Wars unless you go for like the overarching multiple films now, because sometimes you can. A hero's journey, they can then skip back into you can skip these bits and sometimes go into another cycle. Does that make sense? Yeah. So anyway, so on the road back. So it's a bit hard to put the Stars references here, I'm just saying. So the road back. The hero cannot relax and enjoy the thrill of victory for long. The hero feels another call to return home, to share the spoils of reward or bring what was learned to those they care about. The journey is not over. With reward in hand and transformation in heart, the hero charts the path back, but the road can be filled with additional risks and dangers. A villain may appear who seeks to steal the reward. Unresolved issues must be dealt with. The hero may face their shadow. These additional roadblocks challenge the hero to internalize what they've learned and prove to themselves that they have in fact changed for good. It is in this stage of the journey that the quest is won or lost. I can't really think of one example off the top of my head, but like, if you ever find a point in a story...
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, I was thinking, yeah.
Oh, I was thinking as well, yeah, Lord of the Rings is a good one, yeah. So even though they've won, sometimes they haven't whole won and there's some other hidden thing. Anyway, the last two bits.
Resurrection.
This is the moment the hero crosses the final threshold, the final test of the hero's true growth. The hero is tested for the final time. It is their moment to demonstrate their mastery and step into their power. The battle pushes the hero to defeat their limitations and release their old self once and for all. They return home a hero. And then the last point.
Return with elixir.
Yeah, so this is how it's like a generic term, and it's mainly applied for fantasy, but the elixir is just a thing. The return with the thing.
The MacGuffin.
When the hero returns... What?
The MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin, yes, exactly. It is actually returned with the MacGuffin is the thing, yeah. But the MacGuffin could be their internal growth, you see. When the hero turns to his ordinary world, or her, a changed person, they will have something to share with those back home. This could be a solution to a problem, a new perspective of life, a resource, or some sort of resolution with key players. Sometimes the hero faces doubters, or is even punished for the journey. But in the end, the hero always shares what they've learned or acquired with those they did it all for. That is, after all, what makes them a hero. There you go. And then the cycle could begin all again, because in this, they're back to their normal life. Now, sometimes the normal life can change through the journey, but then they go on another, But that's it. So obviously we're talking about protagonists, and this is what the steps of protagonists will follow in the majority of stories. And if they don't, then it's a kind of weird, because if your protagonist is like call to action and all of a sudden steps off the farm and walks straight to the demon lord's castle and just punches the demon lord and they die and then goes back home, what did we gain from that? So that's why it breaks down. What steps do we need to see our protagonist go through? Now, you can obviously have a good protagonist with a bad hero's journey, and sometimes you can have a bad protagonist with an amazing hero's journey. But it is definitely one of the factors in it. So now that you've had it explained to you, Xeno, what are your thoughts?
I feel that this is fairly solid, but at the same time, the I think there needs to be more to the characters than just the journey itself.
And that's what I was saying.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. You can have a good character on a bad journey and a bad character on a good journey. That makes
and sometimes
sense.
that can be interesting, but not always.
Yeah,
not often.
Yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of these traits that exist in anime as well. Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that actually has a lot of this stuff, right? I'd argue that The Rising of the Shield Hero again has a lot of this stuff. Yeah. Even though we're still waiting for season 2 to come out. Then again, like we have. Were you going to say something?
No, it's just that he says like, fits the Rise of the Shield Hero, takes a dig. I want Shield season 2.
I do want Shield Heroes. Well, no. I mean, like the big thing is like. Shield Hero season 2 kind of left the story a bit. Sorry, season 1 left the story a bit open, so like the return home was quite quickly rushed.
Yes. So he returns home to his new home. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
But but there are still shows like Sword Art Online that very similarly follows this, and the narrative of Sword Art Online is, even though it follows a lot of this stuff, it's still just like...
No, but I would say the Sword Art Online one breaks this one. Like, it just...
Well...
see, there's things like the Road of Trials, where the characters have to learn and grow. I can't say how those characters learn or grow. They literally skip that step. Where's the mentor? Where's the, So
they skip the mentor, right? But... Oh God, like if we go through it, so we have a normal MMO environment. They're playing the game, and then all of a sudden, hey, you're stuck in the game now.
You're trapped in here.
Yeah,
you have to get to the end of this MMO to get out. That's your call to adventure. That's your goal. You must achieve. Off you go on your journeys.
It wasn't specifically the main protagonist that tried to say no, but there were characters that tried to get out of the game. There were people that just died, so they had to go through it. They couldn't not. There was like a big pinnacle thing, like with Sword Art Online. Each floor of this tower had raid bosses, and you had to kill the raid boss before you unlocked the next floor, right? And of course, if you died fighting the raid boss, you died in real life. So there was this not meeting the mentor, but there was a meeting of the players that was like, we have to come together to actually do this sort of thing. This is what we face. This is what we fight. Not necessarily the same thing, but I feel has similarities. Then it was a case of like, they go to fight this raid boss. They don't truly know what's going on, this because no one's fought it before. Like anyone that's died trying to fight this raid boss, they're not going to tell anyone else what's happened. It's a do or die situation. Then the testing, the tests, the allies, the enemies, that does play a part of it. So Kirito learns the different elements of how to play the game. He gets better at it. He's not a Gary Stu from the get-go, right? He does have this like falling into the Force that Luke kind of has. He doesn't have like any in-depth training on how to use the Force, but he does have some basic.
You're wrong on that. I know. I think at this point though, I'd like to trigger the spoiler tag.
What of Star Wars? Nah, just
Sword
keep going.
Sword Art.
Okay, keep going.
So his I'll pop it up because I think it's just for anyone who does want to watch Sword Art. So the thing is, I don't like the fact that he doesn't really go much on his journey to the innermost cave. The only thing he loses is other people because he's just not good enough. He does have the Gary Stu moment because he was a beta player and he just basically goes, I'm a beta player, I know how to cheat, and I know that the person who gets the last hit on the boss gets the rewards and things like that. So he does have pre-powers and things. Yeah.
Okay.
But then, so the key point, I'll stay in spoilers now, because the thing is, I don't feel it's very good when he does his transformation reward, is when he beats the guy who set it all up. And he just learns to hack the game or whatever. And then his road back to normal life and rebirth, I just don't see what he really brought. I don't see what his return with the elixir was. You get a bit with the in the second season with the roads back, because there's a great example when the guy in the second season of it, the guy who was running the second world, attacks him in the hospital car park.
I don't remember that.
Oh, well, in the guy in the second world who traps his girlfriend in there, when he uses his powers of I break the game to defeat the gravity magic and beat the guy in the game, which actually causes him to have like mental damage. But then he tries to go rescue the girl. Now she's freed in the hospital. And then the guy who trapped her there fights him in the car park, but he beats him because he's mentally been damaged by the overflow from the game. Yeah, the purple realm. So in the first season, I just don't think the Return of the Exhibit is done very well. But yeah, that's it for Sword Art. But anyway,
I completely agree with you. I feel that as soon as it hits the ordeal, but we'll go more into that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Sorry, before you can knock off the spoilers now. Yeah. So I would say that the early setting of Sword Art does follow the early beats very well. The call to adventure and things, and they've got to return to they're trying to return to their normal life, which is the step one ordinary life. That setup's very good, but yeah, I do feel it fails in some of the lesser points. But that's just an example for the hero's journey. So
I think that kind of brings up a question. I know we're not trying to linger on this too long, but do you have to hit every beat on the path?
No.
No,
but I feel some of them are kind of important. Like I say, you can start out with a farm person in a farm, with their parents dead or whatever, and then they walk off their farm, and the mentor's just a person who says, "Oh, go kill the Dragon Lord," and then they just walk over to the Dragon Lord and punch them, and then they return home.
Yeah.
With some of those points, you can't drop all the points. They've got to have some development.
You got to have some of that.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the three people big view thing. I think at this point in time we will go down into the breakdown of what Nasuth and I spoke. Sat down. What?
So my point, the second part of this is that we finished That's Exploring the Hero's Journey. Now let's talk into the attributes of our protagonists that are going to go on our journey. So we've got Nasuth and Zeno were talking beforehand on the before we started this, and we had to keep telling ourselves, save it for the podcast. So now we're going to break down what are good points and what are bad points, what makes a good protagonist and a bad protagonist, and put some attributes on the board, so to speak, and as we go through them. So yes.
So Nasuth, let's just go through yours first. Let's not change anything.
Right. So I had a relatively short list, just five items, and there's definitely going to be a lot of overlap. So my first one was that the protagonist needs to be proactive. They can't just let the story happen to them. They need to take part in the story. The second point was internal consistency. So their actions need to relate to their goal in some way. They need to, if they've established something about the character, then they need to abide by that, or have a really, really, really good reason to turn that on its head. The motivations don't always need to be immediately clear, but they do need to be clear by the end of the show. The character needs to be compelling in some way. They don't necessarily have to be relatable, but they really need to draw the viewer in with some, maybe they're not the nicest person, and so they're sort of an anti-hero, and that's compelling in some way. But they also need to have a flaw. They can't be, like you mentioned earlier, the Gary Stu moments. Can't have that. That's a boring character. It's just not a good protagonist.
Well, they need to grow and learn something. They can't just do everything perfectly.
My last point is that they have to grow and develop over time. They need to either learn something about the world or themselves or the people that they're with. Something has to change in their life, and they have to learn how to adapt to that.
Cool. So mine was clear motivation. So you have to understand what the character is striving to do. You can't constantly flip-flop the motivation of a character or constantly move the goalposts. But he got to this point, but now he wants to go do this instead. And then he gets to point B, and then it's just so he's achieved this now. It's no, but now he wants to do point C. And but first off, you want to do point A. Now, so clear motivation needs to be really shown to the audience. It don't move the goalposts. Next, like Nasuth said, proper character development. You know, like you can't start a character at the peak of their abilities. Like, you know,
I want to say you can. One Punch Man.
there is always going to be this thing where there's
I know,
There's always the exception to the rule.
No, but he's at this peak of his powers, but he develops internally. That's a great example of him developing as a character.
Okay, fine. But it's like they can't. The character should never be their best self
in every direction. Yeah,
exactly. Right, and like there's one character that I've got for this that I want to. Right, but next we have grounded in reality, where a character wouldn't necessarily do something because it's just totally unrealistic. Right, it's there are loads of examples. I remember oh gosh, what's the
you don't want a villain to have a face turn or a protagonist to have a heel turn or something just because
it's not just that, but it's just like, okay, for example, oh god, High School. No, is it High School of the Dead? Yes, High School of the Dead, with the weird fan service and the weird sniping between a girl's breasts, like to hit a zombie. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, where the hell do they come up with this stuff?
What are you saying that's bad for?
Grounded in reality. That's completely unrealistic in every sense of the. Everything.
I don't think a characteristic of a hero needs to be that they're grounded. A protagonist means they're grounded in reality to be good. I don't think that's any problem. I just think you've got a hate boner for that one scene, and so you're taking that as a negative. I think a protagonist grounded in reality. Well, again, I'm just going to put the example of One Punch Man. This is a person who could throw one punch and destroy mountains.
That's not the problem. Right? He is designed to be this Superman character. He is designed to one-punch things. But a normal high school kid given a sniper rifle for the first time, somehow magically shooting a bullet between a girl's breasts and not hurting her.
Should we change grounded in reality to to not unduly gaining skills rapidly?
I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. Yeah,
because it's totally... not. Surely the key thing, the problem is not that they shot a bullet between a girl's breasts. I think I've seen that scene myself, and it's just like, if they were a classically trained Olympic gold medal sniper, we'd have no problem with that, would we?
Yeah.
He's a crack shot. He worked for 10 years in the Tokyo Police Department. He spent 5 years as a Navy SEAL. He's broken 27 terrorist syndicate rings.
We'd have no problem with it. But you're right, like a high school boy is like, hey, shoot the sniper rifle. Hey, lie down, would you? It's like, no.
Well, the worst thing is it was actually attached to another girl.
Right.
Okay. So he was actually using her as a prop. And it's just like, anyway, let's
how many sniper rounds had he shot before that point?
I don't know, one. At that same time.
Who's the Force, Luke?
Yeah, fucking hell. Like, if the Force was a real thing, right? If the Force was developed, it'd be fine, right?
It's fine.
And then the other one I have is fighting their moral code, right? So they wouldn't just, as Nasuth said moments ago, they wouldn't do a heel turn on like, I stand for truth, justice, and the American way. Also, I just nuked Russia. It's like, wait, what? I thought you were standing for truth, justice, and the American way. Yeah, which includes nuking Russia. Like, but no.
But sure, once again, you could get
they
that
had
character
a bomb.
to Russia.
We had to stop them.
But you have to get them to that point over time and explain their choice.
Yes, you have to show that they actually are fighting that choice.
Yes, you don't just get them saying, I don't want to be Queen of the Ashes, and then all of a sudden burn 1 million people with their dragon. Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I
Character
love how
development.
Loz was looking at the camera so deadpan with the JoJo eyes. Dead to me. But yeah, so those are the points that I have. So what I'm going to say now is let's give a quick pause, and we'll just prepare stuff for the next slot.
Right.
Cool. We're back. We're doing this. So we've collected a list of characters that we want to talk about, and the first one on the docket is Edward Elric, which I can't remember which one of you two actually brought him up. Which one of you did?
I believe it was me.
Right. Okay. So why did you go for Ed in the list of good examples of protagonists and bad examples of protagonists? So which one does he fall in first?
Well, I think he's obviously a good protagonist. I think Full Metal Alchemist is one of my favorites, and he is both of them are a big part of that. But especially him, because I had to pick one. He's definitely involved in the story. He has a clear motivation that he wants to get done. He's constantly moving towards that goal. Any sidetracks always sort of tie back into that goal. There's no real, really off-kilter paths. Later on, I don't want to... He faces some really heavy trials. He could break and go the other way, but he doesn't. He does what's right. He does what goes with his code. Yeah. Okay,
so let's break this down. So he's certainly proactive in terms of finding his plot. Yeah, he's actively...
He knows what he wants. He wants that. He wants to get his brother.
Yep, he's got a clear motivation as to what he's doing. I'd argue he's definitely got a clear compelling character design.
Yeah.
What about growth?
I think he learns that the world is... I mean, he already has kind of a jaded look on the world, but I think he learns that it's more complicated than he wants it to be.
I think that's fair. Loz, you've seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, haven't you?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Possessing character...
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got a temper.
Yeah, I think it's more... I don't know if I'm cutting out. Let me know if I am.
No, you're fine.
Okay. As you got it there in the background, he's sort of like a very impetuous youth who just wants to get things done now. He doesn't seem to appreciate the nuances of how things need to be done. The earlier sections, you see him clash against every authority figure he comes up with. And it's over time that he does become a much more mellow, grounded character, and then realize the importance of what you have to exchange to get what you want. Like, you're not always just going to get what you want just from trying or just doing. Sometimes, you need to sacrifice, and he does learn that many times over his journey. And then we have the sad one.
Yeah. And then fighting against their moral code. I don't think I know of an instance where Ed is challenged to just go, yeah, we'll do this. We'll do the thing. We'll do the bad thing.
That gets me what I want. I'll do the really easy bad thing. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's instantly, nah, that's a bad thing. I don't want to do the bad thing.
No, I think he is offered opportunities by his antagonists to skip.
Well, he's offered temptation.
Yeah, he is tempted, and he remains strong to his morals. There are offers to him from people. Obviously, it's about alchemy. I'm not spoiling anything, but people who clearly seem to know more about what he's trying to obtain, and they promise him easier ways of getting it, and you just have to sacrifice something. It's like, but I refuse to make that choice.
An arm and a leg.
Well, he already had that. That's already gone. But it's right. It's when it comes to, let's say, I'm still not. It's fine, but it's like, this. I don't think he will sacrifice. Seeing as he knows how much he's lost, obviously, yeah, it's not a spoiler. He's sacrificing his arms and leg. But if somebody asks him to sacrifice this farmer and their family, he would never do it. Even if it meant he would get what he wanted, he wouldn't sacrifice innocent people to get what he wants.
Sorry, I just realized we skipped the unduly gaining skills, right? No, he definitely worked for that. He didn't just and now I can shoot a sniper rifle between,
Yeah. I think we talked about that a
fine,
little.
I'll find something else. I'll fucking find something. But it's okay, right?
But no, he doesn't unduly gain skills. In fact, again, there's a very good show about sacrifice. He sacrifices literally an arm and a leg to get where he wants, and in his learning and his process. And he, as you can see there, it's not a spoiler, but he sacrificed basically his brother's normal existence. And that's what he tries to get back.
This is all stuff that's really super early.
It's first episode stuff. Yeah.
If you haven't watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, go watch it. I'm not a fan of
skip the old one. Yeah.
Fine, skip. Yeah,
sadly, most of these images are from the 2004 one, which is very, very new. But anyway, so yes, there we go. That is an example of a strong protagonist. He's quite rounded, and he has his journey's good, his setting's good, and
let's go to Kamina.
Pretty well. Let's go to the one so Zeno can.
Really interesting case.
Okay. Is this yours again?
I think you and I both had this one. No.
Just you.
No, this was me. Yeah. First, it's important to note that a protagonist does not have to be a main character. This is not the main character of Gurran Lagan, although he does feel like it for a while.
Yeah.
He's very proactive. He's in a lot of ways the impetus of what gets them out into the open world. Yeah. He has clear motivations from the very beginning, which is to reach the stars. He's got a compelling character design. Just look at that face. Look at those glasses. it's so memorable. He's growth of the character. See, this is what I think makes him an interesting character to me to pick for this. I don't think he grows at all. I think he's the same in the beginning as he is at the end.
No, so it's not a spoiler, but you do see his growth in sort of flashbacks of where he came from to get to here.
I'm going to take your word for that. I cannot remember that at all, but yeah.
Well, for this character, let's whack that spoiler tag.
All right.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Yep. So I noticed that Nasuth was dillying around with that thing of doesn't have to be the main character. It's like anyone who starts watching again, it's like, oh yeah, this is clearly the main character. No. Not for long. Yeah, so spoilers, obviously, for Kamina does die early on, but I would say I had stopped myself there. Like, for the first, I think it's 7 episodes, he basically is the main character, and you feel like, here's my main protagonist. And obviously, he hands the torch over due to his death and whatever. But you do see flashbacks. You see flashbacks where it's his father's grave and things, and where he started, just living underground.
But
and then he goes on from there.
Though?
Yes.
Yeah. Because he was, if it wasn't for that, he probably would have stayed underground, didn't choose to go up higher, but it was his looking for his dad and his dad who pushed him forward. That was his motivation that was his call to action to move up to the stars.
I do feel that character flashbacks is an acceptable method of... Yeah, it's a legitimate way of showing growth.
Within reason.
I mean, as long as you don't live in the flashback, because then... But the one... No, leave it on.
Okay.
I think this is because this character's so restricted. I think we need to spoil the character on for this one because it's going to be very hard to talk outside because the show is like 25 episodes. He's only in it for 7.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things with the other characters that I have issue with, not necessarily in this list, but just in general, is the sheer fact that you don't have any form of motivation for them whatsoever. Where did they come from?
Yeah.
Where did they go? Where are we going, Cotton Nitro? Sorry. But yeah. So, sorry. But I really feel that flashbacks are a perfectly valid way of showing character growth. So let's continue on with the spoilers tag. Possessing character flaws, I say yeah. Like, he's way
stubborn.
too headstrong.
No,
he's so headstrong.
Perfect.
Fuck off. Right?
He's my perfect, beautiful boy.
Unduly gaining skills.
No, I would say that
really.
No, he doesn't gain the
somehow learning how to pilot a mech.
Yeah, but that's more because the mech is designed to be piloted by sheer will alone.
I think that's the point, is that the technology is actually based on the ancient technology that reached to a point that they didn't just have mechs, they had mechs that they were fighting on a galactic scale, and they made them so simplified that anyone could pilot them. And then obviously that got crushed down to the planet they're living on, but it's still the same technology from the thing, but the society that fought against the anti-spiral, but they're using and they're not humans, they're the animal creatures, because they don't count as humans, they don't generate spiral energy. But the machines themselves, it's like if I got a computer from 1950, I doubt you'd be able to run it, would you? That would have slot cards and things. I would have a clue where to start, right? Because that's the early stage of technology. Yeah, but I could, vacuum tubes, exactly. How do I have to preset the voltages to get this thing to turn on and then adjust the voltages? But nowadays, you push a button, a computer turns on.
Yeah.
Here's a keyboard. It's the technology does become simpler design over time, and that's what the robot's like. But Simone, though, so Simon or whatever, I don't know what you call him, he does gain Simon. Yeah, we're going with Simon. He does just gain the spiral energy to the point of ridiculousness right away. But Kamina doesn't. No, Kamina doesn't. He's great. Yep.
And what about fighting against his moral code?
It's for him. I would say there's constantly the call to give up, but he always keeps going forward. Even in death, he is called back to fight onwards.
His moral code is to keep fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, okay, cool.
But I don't know. I kind of remember this feeling that part of him would give up, but he knows that Simon is behind him, watching his back, and he has to keep moving forward to give that example to Simon.
I suppose.
Believe in the you that believes in me, that believes in, there's that. So that's almost pushing him forward. And I think at some points he would give up. And even in death, he goes, I can't give up because I have to, do this example. Yeah. So there you go.
Okay.
Also, a character I multiple times have cosplayed. I even had the glasses that I super glued to my face.
Ooh, I need to see pictures of that.
Yes, he did. He did super glue them to his face.
The only thing the only two things I could have improved that cosplay was so good. Oh, I needed lenses. I mean, this was years ago before cosplays got really serious. But my wig was kind of rubbish, and I had to use like permanent marker onto my skin. I don't think there was good body paint back then, but it was like it was the limitations of the time. Because the cape would just rub on everything, so it was very hard to do like the shoulder stuff. But I think it was pretty good, don't you? Yeah. That cape was amazing. Yeah. Come on, my cape was great.
Yeah. So spoilers off. All right, let's go to the next character,
which is.
This wasn't even my pick.
I've never watched this.
This wasn't my pick.
I put him there. Mainly, I did some research into what people thought were good and bad protagonists, and he kept coming up along with another one, which will come later.
Wait. As a good or a bad protagonist?
Bad.
Okay, good.
Thank goodness.
Fuck.
The internet's
this is Gary Stu. This is what this character is.
Yeah.
This character, I cannot. I mean, I know that you can plot. I mean, as we've just said earlier on, there's nothing spoilers. You can plot his early journey of the setting on the hero's journey very well. The world, the setting they're in. Some of his things, but he does not grow. He doesn't grow. He just learns how to hack the game through his mind, which is not really a spoiler or anything. It's just ridiculous. I don't even care. I hate him so much.
That's one thing I disliked about him. I'm not turning on the spoilers for this.
No, we know. Yeah, if anyone complains, I spoil. It's sort up. Freaking hate it. Hate it.
Just skip to the next one.
I know some people will like it, but it's
honestly the thing I hate is the fact that, like, I must get faster. If I will myself, I'll become faster. How? Like this? You are not grounded in reality. And I will just think faster, and there I'll be faster. Like,
look, if Goku can do it, anyone can.
Fuck off.
So it's not like we see this character go at, as you said, Goku there. Goku on multiple times is like, I must train to get faster. I must train to be stronger. I must go visit this mentor to teach me a new special skill. I must push through into a new plane of existence to become Super Saiyan, whatever. This guy just goes, I'm just going to do that. And so I do it.
Yeah.
It's just...
proactive, actively seeking the plot. I would say yes. He has a clear goal in mind, and that is what he is aiming to achieve, right?
Yeah. Because I was saying the hero's journey, it's a good setup It is a good starting point, from his,
Yeah.
he starts in the normal world, he goes into this virtual world, he has a goal, a journey to go on, and he has to get on it, and the stakes are set very high, literally their lives are on the line.
Yeah.
Brilliant premise. I mean, obviously, that's why it is one of the, seen as the, isekai examples, the strongest ones, because it's just so boilerplate, but not in a bad way, but because you could build boilerplates off of it. It was so good. But
compelling
him as his character.
Yeah. Compelling character design. Edgy muck edgelord. No thank you. Right. I'm sorry. Right. If you're like season 2, if you'll go right, this is gun game. This is Call of Duty. This is oh god, let's pick another this is Counter-Strike. This is gun game muck gunface, right? Mm-hmm. And your choice is to pick up a fucking lightsaber, right?
Hey, whoa.
Right. You need shut the fuck up, you. Right? Right?
Well, I've had the Force, and I could stop changing my mind.
Okay. If it was a case of they have blasters where the shots were slow enough that you could physically see them travel through air, sure. But these are fucking bullets. These are actual bullets. You cannot physically see the projectile as it flies. All those Marvel movies where you have Deadpool as the bullet flies past and he's actually able to lock on the bullet. And nope, that's fucking bullshit, right? And fucking lightsaber, fucking no character design. No, he's fucking shit. He's fucking black edgelord, but black.
But also, like as a character, he is, and this is I think we were going to discuss beforehand. Point. If I was to name attributes, literally just one word attributes, is he stubborn? Not really. Is he angry at things? Not really. No. Is he an aggressive character? Not really. No. Is he decisive? Not really. Is he scared?
I'd say he's decisive. Scared, no.
Does he start off like as a very scared and timid character that grows into a very brave character? No. Not really. I can't. Can you think of one word examples to describe him? How would you describe him in like just a couple of words?
Boring.
I mean, I think it's part. He's like, just.
It suddenly feels like that bit in the Plinkett reviews of Star Wars where they were asking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Qui-Gon Jinn, his character traits, and they're like, he's stern, kind of bland.
Yeah.
This character is the everyman. It's so that you can project yourself onto this character. They don't have a very strong personality. I couldn't say that this is an overbearing character that I don't know, treats women with condescending tones, but has a heart of gold and would always protect the innocent. I can't say that for this character. He just exists. Yeah. There he is, Blandy McBlandface.
Does he have character flaws?
Yes, no. That's the thing. I mean, I was looking for positive words. Yeah,
so I think there is something that's in one of the later series where I think I don't know what happens. I think there is a thing that happens to him that takes him out of the game. But beyond that, no, I don't know if he has any character flaws.
Oh yeah, I will stipulate that. Yeah, for me, I'm basing it mainly on the first 2 seasons. You have further points but you wouldn't say he changes or evolves over time.
No. Unduly gains skills. He wills himself faster. Yes, he really fucking unduly gains skills.
And literally, he just gains skills because the server that he's playing in just gives it to him.
Oh god, yeah, that's right. Like he wills himself faster, so it gives him a skill that makes him. No, the 2-handed swords. That was it. So he can dual wield. He's the only fucking player that can dual wield. That's fucking horseshit, right? Yeah.
And he got to that point because he's like, well, I just kept killing things and I just kept being faster and I just kept killing. And then it thought I was the best person on the server. So it gave me dual wield.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Fighting against their moral code. Oh, their moral code of blank. Right.
He doesn't want other people to die, but that's basically the same as him not dying.
Yeah.
Doesn't ever have to sacrifice anything himself. I mean, obviously because it's the setting. If anyone dies in a setting, they die. But
the whole point about fighting against the moral code, right, is they have to make a choice, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Do I kill this person? Because if I don't kill this person, they will continue to kill other people.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
That's the fight against. He's not doing that. He's just like he's fucking. Should we move on to the next one?
Actually, no. I was gonna, no, before you do it on the moral code one, I was going to say. So the whole point of the story is to get out. Oh, this is obviously in the first series. You know, to get out of the server they're trapped in. They have to get to floor 100 and kill the end boss. You never see him have to make a choice of, I can't remember it. It's like, okay, I'll sacrifice these 10 people because then I can get further, or the other way around, that he has to sacrifice himself to save people because he knows they're going to permanently die. I've never seen. I don't think I ever, you ever see him make moral choices. It's just, I think at one point he gets bored, so he goes on he goes down a few floors, and there we go. He sort of just hangs out and plays house.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah,
that's the moral choice he makes.
Yeah, do or die.
Yep.
Anyway, move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Cool. That's what?
That's not.
Oh crap!
Oh, no.
That's because it's the same name.
Oh no! Oh.
Okay, fine. So this is supposed to be Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I'm going to quickly fix this. Actually, could you pause it 2 seconds?
Sure.
Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong with it?
It's showing the show wallpapers. Pause.
There we go.
Okay, fix that. Right, so the one I picked is Kobayashi. So Kobayashi from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And this is very much a slice of life series. I picked her mostly because she has nothing to do with the hero's journey.
Yeah.
She doesn't really go through any of that stuff, but she is still a nice, compelling character, right? So proactive, actively seeking the plot. Slice of life doesn't have a massive plot, but it is like making comfortable life for her and the dragons she's living with, right? Clear motivation, same deal. Compelling character design. She's actually a developer, a female developer, right?
Yeah.
In a she's a freelancer. She's contracted by a company. She works hard hours. She's like, again, this is why I was saying like grounded in reality was one of my things. You know,
well, yeah, even more so because this is in some ways, a modern Japanese woman, because there are a lot of people who have to prioritize their career in Japan over normal family, what you'd experience for like 50 years ago. And this is an example of it, you know?
Yeah. And she used to live in a much smaller apartment. Then these two dragons came to live with her. The apartment was way too small. So she actually went and started renting out a much larger apartment, right? This was a choice she made. She could have just kicked them out, right? And she's just really compelling, right? Growth of a character. She does grow. She learns to look after herself better. She learns to
open up more.
Yeah,
because she's very closed off at the start.
Yeah, and learns to accept what she likes is okay, right? Because she does have this fascination with maids, right? She is an otaku herself, right? And she's able to expand out into that. She wouldn't be caught at things like Comiket, right? The gigantic anime man. Yeah. Originally, she wouldn't be, right?
You sure?
I thought so.
I thought she was used to helping her friend out because her friend regularly goes to it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, maybe you're right actually.
But in that same ilk, a better example is a lot of the time she almost wears a mask of her. Oh, what's the term? Sort of a job mask that she never reveals her true self. She is a very public face. It's very not political, professional. Yes,
yeah.
And everything else just becomes hidden away from it, and it's almost like it's trapped. And it's only in these very limited times, normally after some drinking sessions, that the true her with her true goal, with her true desires and things, does come out a bit more.
Yeah, and like it's actually really interesting because most of my colleagues and things, they have like bookshelves, they have paintings, they have plants behind them in their backgrounds, and they will use those like Zoom call filters that blur out the background, and they crop you out, sort of thing.
You think that's hilarious? I love those.
I've got my bloody figures up. I refuse to put those things on.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, I'm not hiding myself. And every single time I jump onto a call,
just want to point out, in case people are new here, that I think Xeno is comparing himself because he also is a developer. I just want to point that out.
Oh yes, yeah, fair point.
That's why you're doing a good comparison with yourself and the character.
Yeah, but the big thing is, like, every single time I jump into a call and things with a new person, they turn around and like, "Oh my god, what are those models?" And like, I end up spending ages just talk. Like for an hour, I'll talk to them about my models and just like, "Oh yeah."
Do you bring them to the camera and things and show them up close?
Yeah, sometimes. Like,
Wow.
I'll take photos and I'll send them on Slack and things like that. But yeah,
wow.
But yeah, again, really like going back to Kobayashi. Really like that sort of professionalism, the growth of the character. Oh god, flaws within the character. Like, it used to be she would not look after herself. Her flat would be full of garbage, right? She'd have garbage bags littered around, and it wasn't until Toru, the dragon maid that's on screen right now, she actually came along and actually cleaned up after Kobayashi, that Kobayashi started looking after herself. She stopped working ridiculous hours and so on.
I'm going to point out, Xeno will not be panning his camera around his room, as he has yet to learn this skill from a dragon maid.
You're not wrong. But anyways, unduly gaining. Sorry. What?
No, go ahead.
She does not unduly gain any skills whatsoever, right? She doesn't suddenly become a coding god or some kind of half dragon weird thing,
or she doesn't suddenly become a massive extrovert that is able to communicate with anyone with no fear of communicating. She remains as she always is. With
yeah. But she definitely doesn't fight against any form of moral code. But I mean.
Oh no! I actually was thinking about that. Oh god, I had an example for that. Oh, what was it? I was like, I remember this when you were pointing out early on. Oh, what was I going to say? No, she does have a moral code, sort of, that she fights against, because she would just. I think it was what I was going to say about the way that as you got there with the dragons, that she points almost wants. Her old self would just want to ignore them, throw them out, and be done with it. But she made a promise to them. And she sticks by her promise. But part of her does want to throw them out. That is her moral...
At the beginning.
Yeah. Because she just wants to go back to her quiet life where she hides herself and she doesn't take care of anything or do anything. Because she's just a job slave. Wage slave.
Yeah.
And she makes that choice. She could just chuck them out, but she made a promise and so she sticks by it.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 3 questions that this has all raised for me. The first one is, can you have a protagonist without an antagonist?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So would you say there's an antagonist in this show? That's a side question.
No.
All right.
Sure, what now?
Can you have a...
The dragons in the dragon world.
It's spoilers.
It's called Dragon Maid. I can't name them.
Too late. You've right. Which one? We're in spoiler territory now.
The dragons that come to say Kobayashi and co. You must come back. And she has to say, no, I want her to stay with me. She's all this great
dad,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, her dad.
But he's not really an antagonist. He's not like
no. She wants to take her away and never let her come back. And in the end, she has to do a speech where she says how important that this character is and what she's done for me. As an antagonist coming to change, and she. But
that antagonism's gone now. They're no longer an antagonist.
Later, yes, but they were an antagonist.
That's like saying Darth Vader killed Obi-Wan. Luke goes, oh, but Obi-Wan was really special to me. Okay, I've given up the dark side of the Force.
I love how you're digging a hole right here, because you've got Darth Vader who chopped off Luke's hand, who killed Obi-Wan. However, at the end, makes the choice of killing his mentor of years and years to save his own son and rejoin the light.
But Toru's dad doesn't die. Right?
Okay, yeah, so it's not exactly like Darth Vader, but he does change. At the end, Darth Vader is a good guy. He is no longer the antagonist. He becomes a hero.
But Darth Vader was an antagonist for...
and then becomes a hero.
For all of Luke's life, right? Until Darth Vader died. Right, but her father was an antagonist for like a blip.
Right, But now we are literally arguing over the length of time
fine.
they are this or that. They are a antagonist at points for the characters. And if they got their way, the entire plot would go differently because they're antagonizing the main characters. Do you agree?
I agree.
Yes.
Right. So what was your last question? No. What's your last question before you turn that off?
So the last question was, it kind of sounded to me like one of your major points for the character being compelling was that it was relatable, and I want to know how you feel about a character. Like, do characters need to be relatable in order to be compelling?
No, so first off, I do not relate to a female developer in any way. I cannot envision at all what it's like for a woman developer in especially in Japan.
In Japan, yeah. I was gonna
say. You do know that sort of developer lifestyle.
You know and the workload and the pressures,
again,
the terrible bosses asking terrible things of you.
Yeah, but like not looking at making this too topical. Look at all the crazy crap that's happened with Blizzard Entertainment in America, especially around gender in the workplace. Right?
Oh, for sure.
I've never experienced that. So, I mean, she's about as relatable to me. Like, okay, she's a programmer. That's it. But beyond that, I don't find her that relatable.
Well, before as I potentially go and find the landmine to step on, I would say that one thing I would say with this character is that I don't know if it's the design of it, but she almost is in her work life. I was watching the show and I thought, well, is this actually a woman? Because there's a lot of the time she shows no femininity, and you could easily replace her with a male character and do the exact same show. It very often doesn't come up, and that I think it was quite a lot of episodes in before some points are raised, and I thought, okay, that's cool. But especially maybe you're pointing out right that in the job situation, maybe they are being very topical. That when she's at work and in that work mode, she has no ounce of femininity. She's just almost a robot for her job, and maybe that is quite telling of female developers in the modern age. That's what you have, in some situations, that's what you have to do. She just is so focused on her job, and that's what she has to do to succeed.
I mean, like I can't answer this question, but I do have female developer colleagues, and I don't treat them any differently than I would any of the guy developers. They are just a colleague. They are someone to code.
Well, yeah. we will. I think we should move on before I have to bring up words like subconscious biases and other useless things. So let's move on.
Sure. Okay. So let's turn off the spoilers and move on to the next one.
Yes.
Right. I can't remember which one of us brought this one up.
Not me.
You did.
Okay. So Makoto, right? So I keep on calling her Makoto. It's not. It's Motoko. It's Motoko Kusanagi. Fuck! I keep on getting her name wrong. From Ghost in the Shell. So
I did notice we really should say the title, because we normally stick to our really good thing of having the. Oh, my arm is really dying here. The title in the corner for anyone who watched it. We should make a good point. We said it for Full Metal Alchemist, and we said it for. We must make sure we say it in case anyone does want to see the show.
Yeah. So what's it called? This is Motoko Kusanagi from Full Metal Alchemist. No, from Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Full Metal Shell,
which was released, I think, in 2002. So this,
but
it's
all
a
her
great
iterations
series.
have a lot of in common.
They do have a lot of in common, sure, right? But I do feel that the
this one is probably one of the best.
Standalone complex is the best, right? She definitely is proactive in seeking the plot. She gets, this is a mission we need you to do. So they have, standalone so they have like episodes, and then they have conjoined episodes. So sometimes there'll be a long overarching plot with interlaced episodic episodes, which it's a really well thought out formula for presenting the show. She is the leader of a special team of cybernetically enhanced individuals. They are basically like Black Ops You know, they are the Navy SEAL. Well, they're not Navy SEAls, but you get the point. They are
Spooks.
specialists. Huh?
They're spooks.
They're spooks. I thought you said
Spooks.
boots then.
Cyber
No,
spooks.
Yeah, spooks. Clear motivation. Yeah, like each season, there is a mission that needs to be achieved, and she is like really carefully, methodically thinking it through. Compelling character design. So this is one thing I'm not 100% sure on. Same with growth of a character, because the Major is very much sort of like an enigma. You don't really know much about her, like what.
But
she
I think
went
that does
through.
make her compelling, though.
We're on. Oh, compelling characters. Okay.
The very fact that she is a mystery makes you want to know more.
Is she a mystery to the point of being an every person,
No,
so that anyone
goodness,
could
no.
copy on, or is it there are actually like she actually does have a character, but you just don't understand the motivation and past experiences that have got it to this point?
I think it's the latter more than anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like there are like a couple of stories that, but I can remember one specifically in like an episodic mission that they had where it was like a war between her and one of her teammates. Like they were both in a wartime situation, and they were on opposing sides, and she ends up recruiting him, you know, because of their encounter and things like that. But it's that I think that's the only flashback episode in the entirety of the 2 seasons. And it does make it like, you know, it does not really fill in enough of who is the Major, right? Basically, you have a name and that's about it. She is extremely skilled at what she does. She's incredibly intelligent. She's very smart. She's able to do all sorts of weird and wonderful things.
Well, then it sounds like she's great. So we're going to move on to the next point then. Growth of character. Seems like this person is amazing, can do everything. Do we see this character grow?
I'd say her views change a little bit.
I actually think her views changed quite a bit. I mean, especially between the second season and the movie. You know.
Yeah, because of what she learns. Yeah.
Yeah, so
let's hit a spoiler tag right now and let's go into that a little bit.
There's not really a lot to go into.
Oh, okay.
I think the important thing is that typically over the series, there is not much growth of the character, right? It's only realistically at the end of the second season where there's this like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But I can't talk about it because I genuinely can't remember it. So...
if I'm on my, as I go to my hero's journey and I go my approach of the innermost cave, it almost sounds like this character doesn't really do that.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like she kind of doesn't.
It's more of a show about the investigate. It's more of a procedure, almost more of a procedural drama than, you know, a hero's journey.
I don't know what you mean by procedural drama.
Something like Law and Order or NCIS or that sort of thing, where they're really like the investigation is the story.
Yeah. But there is a movie, so not even in the movie, she's not a hero.
She kind of is in the movie, but she's more of a rogue element.
So, it's also more about what she's trying to learn about herself.
Yep.
That would be the innermost cave.
Yeah.
Right, so let's move on then. So, would you say she possesses character flaws?
Does she possess character flaws?
Maybe her inability to really connect with other people.
Also, her inability to really trust her, even her own team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think she has some character flaws. But again, they are sort of wrapped up in the enigma of who is Motoko Kusanagi. So it's very similar to Gibbs from NCIS. You know, the lead stoic, monotone investigator who. Why are you doing this? It's like, you know, Gibbs has more emotional display and motivation to do different things than Kusanagi does. But unduly gaining skill, I would say no.
I would say no. I mean, she does. From our point of view, she does start with these skills for the most part. But
but
it's because she's supposed to have them.
Yeah, she has years of experience of being like a soldier, right?
Yeah,
she didn't just like, it's not like I'm Neo from the Matrix and I've downloaded Kung Fu into my brain. I mean, even that makes sense, right? But it's, it's still like, so I wouldn't say she unduly gains skills. Fighting against their moral code. Yes, this especially happens towards the end of season 2. So, yeah. Cool. Do you move on to the next one? Or does Loz have any questions?
No.
Too late.
We're going on to Naofumi.
We're doing it.
Yes.
Everyone's favorite.
No, I just think Naofumi is just such a great example of this, of what he has to go through and as a character. So let's go through it. So, proactively seeking the plot. It's the first one, is it? Actively seeking the plot. So. I'm gonna go. I just want one of the main reasons I want to talk about the hero's journey is just for Naofumi, because he has one, but it's just so butchered at the same time. So he's pulled from his ordinary life, and that is the call. He doesn't have a choice in his call. He is literally thrown into, you have to be the shield hero, and his refusal comes later after just. It's in the big first episode, so it's not spoilers. Everyone basically tries to turn against. Look at him, so bright-eyed there. Look at that bright-eyed boy. Just before everyone destroys him. I hope that's the next one. I know there's one image I've got where he's literally early on. So this is all first episode, I think, when he's on his last leg. So he doesn't refuse the call because he wants to, just because everyone turns against him. And it just at the same time. Oh, no, actually, we'll move on. I'll give that later. So, clear motivation. So, yes, I would say Naofumi does have a clear motivation, which does change through his journey, actually. Obviously, at the start, he just wants to go home. Just wants to return back to that simple place where he was... I don't think he even wants to, because he's missing anything. It's just all he knew, really. But he just wants to go back to it. And obviously, the world he's brought to in this isekai, obviously, Shield Hero. I should have mentioned that, sorry. He doesn't, it's a terrible world and he doesn't like it. He just wants to go home. So he does have a clear motivation. And then obviously, as it's not spoilers, but anyway, moving on. Compelling character design. Okay, so could I describe Naofumi at the start? So he is a young...
Back on the spoilers. Back on the spoilers. Back on the spoilers.
All right.
Why?
Because I want you to go into full depth.
For how he starts as a character?
Yeah, just go into the whole thing. Just really properly.
It's not spoilers, but okay. No, because the compelling character design. So I was going to say how he starts. So this is, as he says, he starts as just a generic student, plays video games, pretty aimless in his life, and then he gets put into this scenario. And then he has to try and survive in the world he is thrown into. And it does change him. He gets very distrusting of people around him because he realizes this entire world is almost against him, and he is always worried he is going to lose everything. So he is at the start, actually, he's just open up to everyone. He literally, at the very first episode, I think
you could say that at the beginning he does not have a compelling character design.
No, he does. He's very open.
Gets one.
I think he does. No, he is a bit of an airy man at the start, but he's not an introvert, he's not quiet or anything, but he is kind of an open, just thinks the happy kind of go guy. He's not mean to people. He's, I'm talking at the very start, when he's brought to the world.
Right.
He talks to all the people. He's happy that he's there. And obviously then he gets crushed by the world. I suppose some compelling growth of a character as well into this now of character design, if you really want to go through it. But then some of the points I want to bring up is that how it's flawed in there as well. God, I'm going to do the next 3 in one go. So I'm doing growth of character and position character flaws.
Kind of interconnected.
Yeah. So you might think that, okay, so then after he progresses through his, he has to struggle as the whole boot of the world is upon him, and he slowly gains the ability to progress in this. It is a computer game, but not a computer game, but it has real stakes kind of thing, which is what it is. It's a real world, but with computer game aspects, I guess. And he needs people to support him. He can't do it himself. So it's that conflict that he doesn't trust anyone, but he is forced by the nature of his hero type, his archetype of the shield hero. He needs other people to support him. So seeing him overcome that is an important progression of it. But at the same time, those flaws he keeps for a long time in the show. I totally wasn't rewatching it for like the 18th time last night. He early on is shown the importance of money, and even though it starts to open up, he gains some characters to support him because with Raftalia and Philo. even though he's a nice person, he still is charging people for things like, oh, you want me to save your village? Pay me.
Yeah.
He is not a perfect holy soul of a character. In fact, it's interesting that everyone thinks he is. He gets the term savior of the holy fowl because he's going around doing all these good things, but he's actually charging people money for it because he doesn't trust people.
He doesn't always do that though.
He does for quite a long time.
Well, there are instances where he does. I think when he saved that town.
Which town? He does charge them.
He charges every town, yeah.
Yeah. So when Melty is trying to insert that spear shield is the lord of the town, and that they're going to impose a horrible tax. They're begging Naofumi to actually save the town, and Naofumi's like, well, you still have to pay me to do this. So I think
but then he puts one of them in charge instead because he's supposed to be the lord.
He does.
He becomes the lord, and then he says, right, now put this money into rebuilding this, and this.
No, that's not what he does at all. That's not what he does at all. So the thing is, Melty holds up the thing saying he's now the leader's thing. It's going to cost.
Melty. It's
not. You said Melty earlier. Sorry, it's the other girl. Bitch. She holds up the proclamation saying this now belongs to the Spear Hero, and it's going to cost you 50 silvers to enter, 50 silvers to leave. And then Thingy comes along and says it costs 1 silver. Oh, is it 1 silver? It might be even less for a night and board. So, I think it is 1 silver. Or half a silver for a night and board here. And then the ninjas turn up and show something to Lady Girl. And it's not against that, but it annoys her to the point that she wants to get one down on someone, to crush someone. So she forces the race. And then they say, they beg Naofumi to do the race, because otherwise they'll belong to Shield Hero. And he goes, okay, fine, I'll do it, whatever. But you better pay me afterwards. And then they offer him, they say, look, we're going to get some money. And he actually says no to the money, because he says, I'm not going to steal your rebuilding money, because that would, you'd say, you'll spread nasty rumors about me. And then Raftalia says, no, nobody in this town would do this, because he saved the town during the wave. And then Philo starts picking at him and points towards the carriage. And then they go, oh, you care about trading? Oh, have carriage.
Yeah. Her name's Malty, not Melty. Melty is the younger sister. But
Melty, whatever.
But that's sort of what I mean. He does still get paid, but he turns down
he still wants a reward,
the bigger payday.
Yeah. But he's still but no, only because he doesn't want to get bad name about himself. There's other times where he goes to then he goes.
Impression from that. I got a different impression from that entirely. I thought he did it because he liked those people. He'd come to actually like those people.
No, he still wants something from them.
Sure, but he doesn't take what he could have taken much more, and he doesn't.
No, he's not greedy, but he doesn't do things because he doesn't become a simple character who's out to help everyone. He still realizes and gains that flaw of, no, I need something. Then he goes and with a point where he get that, and the next point is then somebody requests him to give a lift to then to save their grandmother with the medicine. He's rushing there, and he says, okay, it'll cost you 1 silver. He just has to literally go. It takes him 10 minutes or whatever just to rush off on Philo. He says, no, it'll take me 1 silver to do it. He's like, but I paid everything for my medicine. Okay, well, you can pay me 1 silver worth of food, of stuff. And in the end, he takes a bag of food. You know, so and then when he gets to the village where the dragon, the stuff of the dragon's spreading down, he still charges them for getting rid of the dragon. First, he charges them for bringing the medicine and healing them, and then they say, "Oh, well, the dragon's like, okay, but I'll do it, but you have to pay me 500 silvers." And it's like, that's almost everything we have. It's like, I'm not doing this for free. And then they say, I thought you were the savior of the holy fowl. It's like, I never called myself that.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite parts of character growth for Naofumi is quite early on after Malty screws over me. He becomes super jaded, as Loz described earlier. He eventually employs, he enslaves Raftalia into his service, and he finds he cannot taste anything. Everything tastes of nothing. they go to this inn, and he buys her food. Like, she's really enjoying it, but he can't taste a single thing. And it isn't until after please correct me if I'm wrong, Loz, but after gladiatorial combat, where after Naofumi's been cheated out of the victory, out of the win, and Raphtalia has been freed from the slavery, does she go back to Naofumi, and he actually realizes this now young adult was actually the little kid that he'd employed not days prior. I think
it's weeks. So that it is weeks at that point. It is because you're past the first wave, and it's definitely weeks. They've been. I think even a month. It's at least. I think it's at least 4 months. Obviously, someone who's probably known the manga be a bit more. I think there's more to it actually than that, because I'm not sure. Obviously, the manga would know specifically. I'm not sure if you ever see him sleep from the point of him being broken down to nothing right at the start. Right. He then the first night he spends it out punching balloons.
Really?
And then he literally spares all night, and this is all I've gotten. And then he goes to buy them, and then he eventually goes and gets Raphtalia. Anytime you see Raphtalia sleeping in the inn, he's just on the floor doing things. He's crafting medicine. Yeah, she's asleep. He is. I don't even know if you ever see him sleep. I don't know if he does ever sleep. Obviously, the manga will know, but you never. The way the anime is showing it is, you see he's clear as a complex. He's never sleeping. He's never even making himself vulnerable, and he can't see. He never sees the growth of Raphtalia.
Yeah.
And he gets to the point, obviously, when he's broken down and it feels like he's at his lowest, and he was making progress and he was trying to survive in the world, and it looks like he's going to go back to nothing because Raphtalia is taken away from him, is one method of killing things and progressing. And to the point that he actually breaks down and just despises his own shield. And it's only when Raphtalia puts her hand on the shield and says, "This shield has saved my life many times."
Yeah,
that's the point at which he changes, and then she says all these other things that, what you've done for me, and then it's when obviously his psychological trauma is finally like lifted, and he realizes that not everyone is. He's open at that point. He says to her, she tries to get close to him, and he says, like, "Go away, you traitor! What did Motoyosa want you to see the loser's face before you left or whatever?" And it's only that point when she says things like, "This shield has saved my life, and you've done all these things for me," that he finally opens up to someone again. And then food tastes the same, and he actually sees her as a person rather than he only saw her as that, because he was so tunnel vision. His trauma had made him so tunnel vision.
A metaphor for when he got betrayed. The life literally lost its flavor. And, and its zest, and now he has somebody to bring it back to.
Like, there are so many cool, subtle nuances about his character development that, like, if you are not keenly aware of, you will miss. I actually tell you what, if you've seen Rising of the Shield Hero, there is a link in, I say, watch it first. I'll put a link in the description below to a series, I think it's by Anime News, where they actually compare what's happened in the anime and what's happened in the manga. And the manga, like, truly spells it out, whereas the anime, it's real subtle. Like, things about the shield, things about, like, food, his relationship. It's honestly, it's...
Yeah, and even simple interactions and things are spelled out. Like, you'll just get like, as I say with the sleeping, you get a montage of them sleeping in the inns, and, like, one point Raphtalia wets the bed. But in the manga, that is explained in so much more depth what's going on there. But the manga is just, the anime is just trying to get through points, and so it just shows you a montage of points when there's actually a lot more depth there. Oh, there's loads more. Yeah, we'll have to link it to you, Nasuth. It expands the story so much more. Anyway, let's go through it. I think we'll talk about this. So let's go. Possessing character flaws. Yeah, he does have character flaws. As I say, he becomes very stubborn. One of the key points of a Gary Stu or a Mary Sue is that everyone likes them immediately.
Yeah.
And thus they're such an open character. No, he becomes a bit of an arse quite a lot of the time. Yeah. And even so, he towards his other heroes, he still is an arse.
He starts out incredibly naive too. So
yes, that's a flaw. So he's flawed. So let's go on to unduly gaining skills. So and that's why I like the word unduly.
Oh God, he works so hard.
Yeah. He gains a lot of powerful skills, and he does become a very strong character. It is not through just here, have this. He has to lose so much psychologically to get to where he is. And then, which we've gone through some of them. Fighting against their moral code. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I put about the money and things. Does he fight against? No, actually, he does. The moral code. So it's really interesting. In the first wave, he obviously is. He's there's a bit where he's on. They all get teleported, and he's on a hillside with Raftalia, and they see the other three heroes charging off to obviously fight the raid boss.
Yeah,
and Raftalia turns and says, "Oh no, look, the village of Loot, which we, that's the only village they've travelled to. They've been there a bit, and they see a flare go off, which is the villagers saying, "Hey, we need help," to the knights, and then they have to make a choice: do they go join the other heroes in doing the raid boss, which obviously is going to be material for his shield, or do they go and defend the village? And even he, normally you can see he doesn't even he keeps saying to himself he didn't do it for the people, but he goes and risks his life to save the people, even though openly he says there's no reward for it. What's he going to gain from that? But he still goes and does it. So yeah. Even though
yeah. Okay, cool.
It's just so good a show.
Everyone
pop the spoilers off in this before we finish all. And I would say this show is available on Crunchyroll, so for free. So there's no excuse for everyone watching it in high quality. It is so good a show. Oh god, I love this show so much.
Right. Do we want to do this one next, or do we want to do these two before we get? Okay. Right. So everyone's favorite protagonist,
Shinji, get in the robot.
I think all of us independently picked him. Because he's just such a perfect example of the worst protagonist.
Was Shinji in your any of your search results, Loz?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the other one who came up all the time.
As again, another bad one?
Very bad. All time bad. No, I didn't see anyone say any good points when I was having a look around for him. So what is this character and what's he from?
Does he act oh yes. He is the main character from Neon Genesis Evangelion. He is just the worst. He's the son of the guy that's in charge of the entire Eva project. Not really good talking. And he's like supposed to be the one that's gonna do all the cool things. And normally in any other like mech anime, he'd be the wonder kid that everyone loves. But in this one, he's the loser that everyone hates.
I gotta say, I do feel that they redesigned his character for the new.
That's what I've heard. Yeah,
I've not seen the new redo movie. So, should we say specifically any statements we make is not about the new redo movies? It will be on the show and the old movies. Yeah.
Let's say that just to make life easier. I don't like the series because of the introduction of this character. It doesn't make fucking sense. It's like this. This is why I had the grounded in reality thing. It's because like the whole point is that they are supposed to be a secret organization. I've actually got this, like they're a well-established secret organization. They've had gajillions of monies put into they've fucking got an underground base, for fuck's sake. Right? Yeah. That's not going to be cheap to fucking do, right?
They got an underground base.
Yeah, for fuck's sake,
For fuck's sake. The only thing they're missing is the volcano layer.
Well, I mean, they're not evil. But anyway, so...
What's that, Nasuth?
There's a volcano later in the series.
Does it have a secret layer underneath it?
Yeah, that's where they found the egg that turned into one of the angels.
Oh yeah, but they didn't have a secret volcano. No. The angels came.
Anyway. So they're a well-established secret organization. Why on earth would they put a teenager in a giant robot that has never piloted any, like, a jet or driven a car, let alone fucking piloted a giant robot? And then the first thing it does is put them in a live fire combat situation, right? Oh, yeah. You've never seen a giant robot before. They're in front of you. We need you to get in it, and we need you to fight the thing upstairs, right?
Otherwise it'll destroy the world.
Him.
They traumatize him.
They have to traumatize him.
What? That fucking makes no sense.
Welcome to Evangelion. Yes. Hello.
Like, the weirdest thing is that this is supposed to be a pinnacle of the deconstruction of the giant robot genre, right? Like, fucking, what the hell shit have you been watching prior to Evangelion to say that?
God, even when he's smiling here, he's sad. He looks like a sad little...
What is he smiling?
Yeah, he's smiling there.
Oh, God.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I thought it was moping.
Okay, so... Is Shinji proactive and actively seeking the plot?
No.
No, it just happens.
It all happens to him.
Get in the robot, Shinji.
Right. Does he have clear motivation?
To run away. No, I guess he does. It's to please his father.
Is it? I think he just does what he's told.
No, it's to please his father. Because he wants Gendo to like recognize him and
No, I thought it was like for a while he does it to please
Misato.
Yeah, Misato, because like it's like, oh, I might get some. Yeah,
that's probably true. Yeah.
Pretty lady, you know, compelling character design. I gotta be honest, I do actually have to give him this. Right, you might think I'm crazy, but he acts like an actual teenager. Right?
Yeah.
He's like not particularly motivated to do anything, right? He's shocked at things that he should be shocked about. Like, the only thing I don't truly get is why do you fucking get in the robot? But it depends on the relationship with his father. He might just do what he's told.
But I would say beyond the first episode is when it falls apart, because if he knew he had to pilot this robot, do you see him come out and say, like, right, make me the best robot pilot ever?
Nope.
Did he say that?
No, he doesn't. That's what I mean. You know, you think he'd say something like that of like, okay, that was scary. I don't want to do that again. Make me better at doing that. Make me strong. Make me win. I want to win next time. I want to keep winning. I don't want to die.
You know, a little of that.
But do they train him? Do you ever see them train him outside of the fights?
Only in they do. Yeah.
It's not nearly enough. Yeah, it's not nearly enough, but they do train him.
Right, but I don't get why they didn't. If they knew he was always going to be in this robot since he was 5 or something, because I assume they took a while building the robot. Why didn't they train him from earlier? I just don't get it.
No, they didn't build Evil 1. They found it.
Right, but they knew. But somehow they knew who was going to pilot it, didn't they? Or they must have had a plan.
Yeah.
You don't offer. Do you ever see? Yes, these were the people who were going to be the pilots of Evil 1, but we chose you over them for some reason. Do you see that?
It was Rei Ayanami. Rei Ayanami was supposed to be the pilot.
Okay, I'm beating on that point. Fine.
Again, like the narrative of Evil. Like if you guys know, I'm not putting the spoilers on. I don't give a shit. Like you should not watch it again, right? But
again, I'll specify. Maybe the new movies, I hear they're better, but yeah.
Yes, but I'm hoping they'll actually fill in some plot holes. But like, I remember that time and time again, people say like, "Oh no, it makes sense that he can pilot Eva 1 because like it's got the spirit of his mum inside." I'm like, how? She was alive when Eva 1 was discovered. That doesn't make any sense. Actually, no. It punched the room that she was in. Right, Eva 1. Zero that goes wild. One of them, I think Zero goes wild and punches the room that she was in and kills her, right? And it's just like, oh.
Don't you know, Zeno, that if you really want to know someone, you should have a fist fight with them.
What's that from?
G Gundam?
Oh, God.
I think it's G Gundam.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's G Gundam. So they G Gundam'd it, and then his mum was in Evil 1.
But like again, the big thing is people think that Eva 0 came before Evil 1. No, Evil 1 was the randomly found one. Eva 0 was the prototype trying to replicate Evil 1, and then for some strange reason they have an Eva 2, which is just like, I honestly, the plot of the series is just so Gynax, it's untrue. Right?
There's also a 3.
Anyway.
But, yeah.
Is there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where did we get to? Right, growth of a character?
No.
He learns he mustn't run away, but, I mean, that's
Does he learn that?
Unless,
Or Or does he just learn he can't run away because they'll drag him back and chuck him in the robot?
Unless being a gross teenager over a...
Puberty doesn't count as character growth.
I wasn't going to say that. Anyway, no, he does not grow as a character. He is just... Actually, no, there was one incident in the series where I think his friend dies in Ava 3.
Yeah.
And Shinji loses his shit at his father. Like, because they didn't try at all to save the friend. They could have gotten the friend out, but instead they just...
Because again, Shinji has to be traumatized in order for...
Character growth. It's not character growth to traumatize a child.
Right.
No, I think it's literally to cause what happens in the final... in the end of the series. I think he has to be like just completely broken and everything. That was my interpretation of it.
Right. So anyway, the end of the series, right, is not the actual true end. Right. The last 2 episodes were made because Gainax genuinely ran out of budget.
Yeah.
The end of the series is end of Evangelion.
Yeah.
If you watch the series, leave the last 2 episodes off and just watch Evangelion, it makes a fuck ton more sense. Don't watch the last 2 episodes. Actually, just don't watch it. Just don't watch it at all.
We're all clapping for you because some reason someone got a message on Steam.
Because we ran out of budget.
Yeah, let's have an elevator scene that goes on for minutes at length. What artistic things. So can I just say, possessing character flaws? Yes. He has many flaws.
He has nothing but character flaws.
Yeah. He is a flaw.
Shinji is a character flaw.
Unduly gaining skills. I mean, we talked about that already. He just
fucking learns how to fucking pilot. He just fucking pilot it.
Yeah. And fighting against his moral code. Does he even have a moral code?
Hold on. No. But I think he. So much like in Gurran Lagan, where they can pilot the mechs via will alone. I think in Evangelion, it was they can pilot the mechs through emo.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
You mean through angst?
Yes, angst, yes. I'm fired.
I'm fired. I don't want to pilot the robot.
I don't want to. My mommy died. I'm fired.
I'm dead.
I'm so fired. My daddy mean to me.
Daddy mean to me. I'm dead.
The redhead killed mean to me, and I'm fired. Sorry.
He mean to me, and I don't understand why. But I have funny feelings in me. I'm dead.
Let's move on.
The less said about Shinji, the better. We've already spent too long on him. Oh, but we've got another terrible one here, apparently.
It's a Xeno.
This was my one, right? Blandy Muck Blandface of blandest show of blandom.
Someone getting Steam messages, or is it me?
It must be you, right? Because I'm definitely not.
Yeah,
okay, so Taichi Nishimura, right? He's from a series called Isekai Cheat Magician. If that name alone isn't a big enough giveaway of not watch the series, I don't know what is. This guy...
But I see boobies. That's clearly a great reason to watch it.
No, no, stop it. No. I don't want anyone watching this. I watched the whole thing and I can't remember a fucking thing about it. And I remember him even less, right? He's not proactive at, he's just, I do thing because you're told to. Yes. Right? Like much like every isekai has a fucking guild of adventurers. He turns up and he breaks the fucking device that is used to measure the magic potential of a character. Like the female,
but by accident or because he's so awesome?
Because he's so awesome.
Oh,
like it's like you know how Saitama goes to the Hero Association to get his qualification, and he one punches the punch machine to measure his strength. Yeah, right. Right, well, basically, he does that to the magic crystal, and he breaks it because he's so fucking magical.
Which normally, like as I said, with One Punch Man, it's fine. You can do that, but you have to make allowances.
He has a different form of growth, right?
Yeah.
This guy has no form of growth whatsoever. Like, I can't even remember him talking. That's how, like, non-characterish this guy was. The girl next to him was also dragged into the other world because he was the target. And she was like, no, I must come with you for some reason. I can't fucking remember. And, yeah, and her magical potential is nowhere near as powerful as his, right? He can use every school of magic because Avatar The Last Airbender. Yeah, it's like, and like, so what's his motivation? Do stuff. It's just, he just does what he's told. It's like, oh, we need you to help us. You know, compelling character design. He is also another one of those, like, oh, you know, you could put yourself here if you really wanted to. I don't know why you would ever want to. Yeah, because he's got nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you've got no history, you've got nothing. He's just like, I could do what I want. I can't even remember why there's a weird spirit in this one.
Wait, what is that weird spirit? I'm going to ask.
I think it's like an air spirit or something. Like, it allows him to use air magic. And
is it really rare and he summons it instantaneously and he can...
No, I think because he is so magically adept that he can actually see the air spirits else can, because he is that in tune with bullshit. Character growth.
That in tune with bullshit.
yeah. Character growth. There's no character growth because the best that he could ever be, right? Like Saitama, he's completely emotionally stunted. He's trying to like feel things again, right? I'm just the best there is at whatever it is I do, right? Possessing character flaws. Then he wouldn't be the best at whatever he does, right? Like,
does everyone like him instantaneously, and he never really has a everyone loves him or thinks he's amazing or gets on with him or helps him, and
still, I argue is not as bad as Kirito because Kirito just reads the script, right? But this guy can't do anything wrong, right? And duly gaining skills. Yes, he's just like, oh, I'm gonna do everything now because I can. And he just does. He just fucking does, right? What moral code? He has no moral code. He just does what he wants. Like, fucking... Such a shit show.
Okay, but within doing what he wants, is he at least consistent on his morals? Or does he change? Or does he never really have a moral quandary?
He doesn't have a moral quandary at any point. It's like, he doesn't go at any point like, oh, killing people's bad. Like,
if I have to kill the Demon King, but what friends will I lose from doing so?
Yeah, it's like, no. I can protect all my friends. I can just, like, I don't know why he doesn't just fight the war by himself. I think there's like a couple of kingdoms that are against each other. I just don't know why he doesn't do it by himself. Like, he can fucking, I'm pretty sure he can fly. So just fucking tactical nuke yourself at the enemy kingdom and just blow the place up. There you go. I've inserted myself as the new ruler. Come and challenge me. Trust me, you won't win. And again, he has no motivation to even do that. He can do fucking anything, but he has no motivation to do that. Anyway, I think that's all I can even say about this character. He's such a
I'm tempted to watch this just for like just sort of hate watch it and have some fun. Does look like kind of show to do. Maybe.
Okay. Next one. Last one.
All right. Last one.
What we got left?
Trigun.
Oh, finish on a high.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oldie but Goldie.
I think Zeno and I both picked this one.
Yep.
Yeah, I have seen this though, so at least you'll know this one.
Excellent.
So who is it? This is who?
This is Vash the Stampede
From
Trigun.
The $60 billion double dollar man.
Yep. So
I need to rewatch Trigun. It's so good.
I do too, actually.
I've got to say, like, the first few episodes, they're a little too slow for me. Like, they spend too long setting up the world. You don't really get to learn about Vash until quite later on.
I feel like that's intentional, though. I think they want him to be a mystery that you don't, an enigma.
But it's the problem with, okay, so obviously it's a victim of its age with it being like a 90s show. The trope of, is he actually Vash the Stampede or is he not? Like that's kind of been done to death, right? Please don't ask me another show that does it, but you know, it's, so the whole premise is that he is considered a natural disaster because of one incident, and these what's called the two girls, Millie and Meryl, thank you. That's Meryl. That's sort of like pushed away. They are employees of an insurance bureau, and they're trying to avert as many disasters as possible that involve Vash. Because wherever Vash goes, right, trouble follows. But Vash is on a journey. He is trying to achieve something that because it's so small in the plot, I'm not going to spoil that.
Right.
There will be spoilers later, though. And I think that he's got... I wouldn't say he's got a clear motivation. It takes quite a long time to work out what it is he's actually doing. Because for the longest time, you just think he's a drifter. He's just going from town to town to town. And these girls are following him, trying to prevent any disaster from hitting him. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's until past halfway through the series that you're like, oh shit, that's what he's doing.
Yeah, well, no, because he's not even really initially working towards that goal, is he?
He is, but behind the scenes, right? It's you know, backstage. So you're not
say the motivation is clear. You just don't know it. And his motivation is clear from his perspective, but not from the audience's.
Yes, and to me, that's not good, right? Okay. Because with more recent stuff, again, I think I said this on screen, on recording. Someone said, "Go watch the Dungeon of Black Company." And one problem I have with the main protagonist is that his goalpost keeps moving. Did I say this on camera?
I don't think you did.
Right. So first off, he has objective A, and then he gets to objective A and it's like, oh no, we're moving it to objective B now. And then he gets to objective B, and then it's like, oh no, we're moving it to objective C now. And his like the main protagonist's motivation in that show, like at one point in time, well, actually from the very start, like most older isekais, he wants to go back home. He wants to go back to Japan. And a lot of recent isekais, they just live their new lives now in whatever fantasy setting they're in. But he really wants to go back to Japan. He's actually given the opportunity at one point in time. This really isn't a spoiler. He's given the opportunity at one point in time, like red pill, blue pill, Matrix style. Do you want to go back to Japan, or do you want to continue going down the rabbit's hole?
Oh, yeah.
And he chooses to go back down the rabbit's hole. I'm like, hold on, you're giving your out. Your motivation was to leave, and why are you going against that?
So there's nothing up until that point in the show that would lean to to understand why the character was motivated to make that choice.
Exactly.
Everything up to that point, if you literally just chopped and showed me the sections, just the bits where you know evidence towards it, if the character is being true to themselves, would have left.
Yeah. But like it's a very snap. There you go. There's your choice, and he just decides to stick with it. But
wow,
Vash's motivation isn't clear enough to the audience from the get-go, and I think it would be nice if this was a Monday show. It was. Right.
Yeah, I don't really mind that style of storytelling as much. It's sort of like the flashback thing. You know, you may not know their history at first, but then you eventually do, and everything starts to make sense.
True, but again, as I said previously, you can't live in the flashback.
True.
So let's move on to the next one. Compelling character design. Vash's character design is phenomenal. I love his character design.
Everything about his personality, his outfit, it's just
what you see is incredible. Growth of a character, I'd certainly say yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, starting off as a lone wolf, growing outside of that. Possessing character flaws.
Not very open to other people again.
Yeah.
You've got those. It's been a long time for me, so correct me if I'm wrong. But you've got those two female characters following him and really just trying to help him. And my understanding is he doesn't really care. He just keeps on doing what he's doing. You know, he doesn't. He could.
No,
He
kind of cares too much, right?
Yeah.
So part of his moral code is that he won't kill anyone, right? He wants to find the third option. He always wants to make sure that no one's suffering. And yeah, he's always doing this crazy stuff. Like he's putting himself in harm's way before anyone else, right? And it's sort of like to a detriment of himself. Like he gets horribly mutilated over the years, and like there's his body's horribly scarred, right?
Below the neck, think Deadpool.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's not too off. So I kind of feel that his moral code is also kind of a character flaw.
His absolute following of his moral code.
Yeah, it's his unwavering following of the moral.
He doesn't
code.
just get mad and then kill people for. Oh well, this one's fine. I'll kill this one.
Yeah. All right. Ungaining skills. Nah. Fucking Vash works for those.
It all makes sense. So, everything he has makes sense.
Yep. He is a gunman that can do crazy feats because he's been practicing for a hella long time. And then
does he fight against his moral code?
Right, okay. This is where I want to turn the spoilers on.
Okay.
So
right. I agree.
Okay. So as previously stated, Vash doesn't want to kill, right? During the course of the series, he is doing anything and everything in his power to not kill people. Even the assassin henchmen that have been sent to kill him, he avoids, trying. Well, he
tries to, yeah.
Yeah, and as a result, at instances like he will, not only does he accidentally kill some of them, right, but even defeating the ones that failed to kill him ends up costing them their lives, and he feels that.
Yeah.
So
up to and including the final battle with his brother. Because he doesn't want to kill Knives. That's the last thing he wants.
Yeah.
Gotta do it, though.
No, he doesn't. You know he doesn't, right?
Oh, wait, shit. What? Really? Wait. I swear he did.
Yeah. So, like, the last episode, right. The last episode...
Clearly, it's been too long since I've watched it.
No. Right, I'd watched Trigun a few times. It wasn't until the last time I watched it did I discover this. At the end of the last episode, right, there is a clip at the end of the credits where basically Vash is carrying Knives back to the village that Meryl and Millie are at.
Do you see him move?
That doesn't necessarily mean anything with...
No, you see, it's a standard Western ending that you might not know if if he is or isn't dead. That would be a standard Western style ending.
If that could be the case, but I mean,
I think there's one famous one about like there's a character on a horse and it's going away, but it's kind of slumped forward, but it doesn't turn back when there's a kid like calling to his name and just goes off and it's like going off. Is it Shane? Is that it?
Shane.
Oh, I can't remember what the thing is. I know it's a thing in a movie, and but he doesn't turn up, but he's also slumped forward. So you don't know, is he dead or is he stoically going off into the sunset, or is he actually just dead on his horse? So it could be like he's carrying his brother, but is he dead? I mean, what is he carrying him over his shoulder or like
over his shoulder?
Princess? Yeah. So Do you normally carry live people like that over your shoulder?
There's kind of a reason why Vash is doing that.
Yeah.
Well, why am I even hesitating? He can't use his other arm.
Yeah, I know, but
so he's only got one arm. So like, how are you gonna like? I mean,
right? But long term, carrying someone over one shoulder is not a good way of carrying them. If he was a live person, he could make a small makeshift sled to drag him along with. You know,
they're in the middle of the fucking desert, Loz. What is he gonna use?
I'm pretty sure there was something.
There was an oasis there, but I don't know how much of it survived.
That.
Yeah,
they destroyed that.
I'm sure he could find something to make or even his coat. Just take his coat off and just drag him on his coat.
I think he didn't have his coat at the end of that as well.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm sure he could have made it something. I have to watch it myself, but yeah.
The other one that I can really think of is after one point. Gosh, was it after he fired the gun again and destroyed another town?
Does he destroy another town?
Yeah, like halfway through the series, and then he goes and lives like on the moon. Yeah, that's what it is. And then he goes. Yeah. I thought it destroyed like part of the town too, but either way. And then he goes and lives like on the farm as a nobody with no name.
Oh God, yeah. Before he heads back,
because he wants to. That's I consider that him fighting against his moral code, because he's really tempted to just abandon it and live there forever.
Also, the fact that I think a large part of it is that he feels that he can't be the weapon that Knives... Sorry, he can't avoid being the weapon that Knives has turned him into.
Yeah.
Right? So he's like, well, I'll just take myself out of the picture. But no matter where he goes, like, there's always trouble, and he always feels this moral obligation to, pacify any form of combat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those are some really big examples I can think of him just deeply struggling with his morality.
Yeah, I mean, also the fact. Oh well, technically he did destroy another town, which was his home. Well, no, it wasn't his hometown, was it? It was the floating fortress.
Oh yes, yeah.
It was because he went back there. Yeah, only because he went back there did the ship get destroyed.
Yeah. That's true.
So, right. I think we're done with Vash. I
think that's everyone.
So, yeah. Should we go back to the three people and cool. Right. So that's our what we think of protagonists. Good, bad, the infuriatingly bland.
Can you think of any honorable mentions from the latest season of anime?
Latest season or
latest season, like anything from the summer season.
Gosh, I have to.
Rimuru from Slime is not a very good protagonist.
I was about to say, what are you talking about?
I'd say the one from Battle After 5 Seconds is also not a very good protagonist.
Oh God!
And then I learned how to teleport armies.
I think the girl in that is a better protagonist than he is.
I really like the main male lead from Remake Our Lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like the later episodes, it's just like, damn son. That's one of the few shows that I actively put everything else on hold to watch as soon as the episode is out. Obviously Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, same deal.
Right, yeah.
I have actually quite enjoyed the Dungeon of Black Company, and I do kind of recommend it. The moving of the goalposts aside. Aside from that, not. Oh, actually, Vanitas. The case study of Vanitas is another one that I would actually recommend as well as having good, strong protagonists.
Okay, all right.
Cool. Right. Well, I think we've done the topic. I don't know if there's any final thoughts that we want to talk about.
Why don't you let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below?
Yep. If you think of any good protagonists or good bad protagonists, let us know. Any points you think we've missed on, or you think we're completely wrong on what makes a good protagonist, let us know.
Cool. Right. Well, let's move on to the supporter questions, which I totally didn't forget about until just a very second. So Zrugel asks, How worried should I be that the second season of Rising of the Shield Hero will continue the trend of awesome shows that have really bad second seasons? Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know off the top of my head, but first check if it's done by the same animation studio. That's an important thing to check for, because it can be very different in their approach to what to keep and chop out of the manga. That's an important thing. I don't know. I don't have Sino checking that right now. I'm pretty sure they still have a lot more manga to do, so you don't have to worry too much about that as well, that they're going to run out of content to do.
So, just to save on the last one, it's the same studio with another studio in hand, so I think it was like, they split the workload.
That may be an issue, but at least the original studio's there, which means there won't be issues with characters, the consistency of the characters being on model. You can sometimes find when it shifts animation studio and just the quality of bits and pieces change, and the way they decide to frame shots, it just changes massively.
Yeah.
But also the other thing I would say is, and I do love the first series of Shield Hero. Like I say, I can just flip that on anytime and just start watching it. But do temper your expectations, because don't think, okay, this is amazing, so the next one has such a high goal to reach. So do take that into consideration and processing. But I think it'll still be good. I just want to see more, and I think there's more story there to tell.
Cautiously optimistic. Yeah.
Right. Sorry. It's like I just lost Discord. I'm like, where's Discord gone? I put it back. The second question from Zoogle: why is cast in the name of the show not spelt with a K? This is for search engine optimization. I have learnt something very important with the name Xenogelion. No one can fucking spell it. So, if you're doing a search
I get you, right.
Yeah, if you're doing a search for Kanpai cast, people are they're gonna default to a C with cast. So yeah, it's honestly, that's like, I really fucking wish I went back in time and say, no, don't pick such a stupid name, you stupid moron. Right. Next, Yumi Kana asks, do you have a show that you enjoyed but don't want to admit publicly that you did? Mine is... Wait, you want me to read this out loud? Okay. Mine is Seikon no Quasar Season 1. Interesting premise and cool fights, but it's so perverted that I almost can't take it seriously.
Oh my.
Can you just link that name to me in chat?
Oh, do you not know what this one is?
No.
Oh my god.
I've never heard of it either, but that's not surprising.
I personally, I can't think of anything I'd wouldn't admit to watching.
I don't know.
I liked. I mean, don't be wrong. Yeah, I've seen some weird stuff which I won't admit to seeing, but anything that I worth be like, oh, well,
okay. So you are talking to your parents, right? Are you telling me that there's no show that you would turn around and say, like, you wouldn't admit that you really, really enjoy? Because I could tell you for a start, I would not tell my parents that I really enjoy High School Double D.
Right, but would they have to watch the show after you admit it? Like you could. I'm sure if I told my parents, "Oh, I like High School Double D," they'd be like, "What's that?" So
well, I mean, if you also show them a picture as well,
right? And I'm pretty sure I could find some quite tame pictures in there as well. I mean, it's like
of any of the female protagonists.
Yeah, when they're just standing there having a chat, they're not always naked or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, their clothes are very form-fitting.
Yeah, as in a lot of anime. I don't see that as that bad.
Fair enough. I'm trying to find...
I'm trying to think of one too. I'm having trouble with that.
I mean, I've seen some weird stuff that I wouldn't repeat. I can't remember the name of because freaking weird, but I wouldn't admit to... Oh yes, I definitely watched this weird stuff.
I thought it was Sekai no Quasar. I can't remember, but anyway, yeah. Nasuth?
No, I can't really think of anything.
Wow, it's just...
But I also don't really watch a lot, as much anime as either of you.
True. Right. It's anime power-up... Sorry, this is Thaylien. Apologies. This is anime power-up time. After covering trope in the last episode, we saw many examples of many different anime power-ups in the forms of transformations. some were that were power multipliers like Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan forms. Some had functional transformations like being given a Gaiva or piloting transforming mechs. And in other shows, there were magical transformations or even obscure ones that like being turned into a Shinigami. The question for you three for this week, what transformations would you most like to receive based on your current self rather than on how cool you think the anime is? Gaiva, I mean, fucking you give me 2 seconds to think about that. I thought Gaiva before I actually...
Yeah, I don't get that because it's like, pick a choice, not based on how cool the anime is, but then the reason you'll like the anime because of the transformation, not the anime, I guess. I mean, what are you expecting? I'd like to become a magical girl! What?
I want to become a magical... What the fuck? I want to become a magical girl.
Okay,
Loz, how could you do me like that?
How could you do Nasuth like that?
Well, if he wants to turn... I'm saying I don't want to turn into a magical girl. If you want to turn into a magical girl, more power to you.
Loz, you're a magical girl right now. You're a JoJo.
I'm pretty sure I could go find a magical girl to transform into if you want me to right now. Wouldn't take me long.
But no, yeah, I'd like 100% Gaiva. Did I mention Gaiva? Right. That's it for the supporter. Do you guys want to specifically answer anything in particular, or no?
What, my budding wish to become a magical girl?
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that? Get all sorts of powers.
Nothing.
Okay, let's dip this in the bud. Right, so that's it for the supporter questions. Moving on to the comments from last week. So there were a good couple. Strulus Shell said, didn't get a chance to listen to the episode yesterday when it came out. So this was, but it's nice for my Saturday afternoon. Good job, guys.
Aww.
So I thought that was,
that means a lot. Nice I'm glad we could get you through your day.
And Zrugel said something that I found very interesting that I didn't know, but I think both of you said you knew this. So originally in the Dragon Ball Z manga, they gave Goku, they made Goku turn Super Saiyan in order to save on ink. No kidding. I remember that reading that somewhere.
Yeah.
Now I didn't actually go research this, but I have heard that too from multiple sources.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I'll say that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if that is absolutely true, but from my understanding, that is the truth of what happened. Yeah, because imagine how big his hair is. Every you have to draw it and then color it all in. Whereas if you just have to Super Saiyan now, so just if you think also it's also easier the way the shape is. It's sort of like pineapple shaped his hair.
Yeah.
Once you become Super Saiyan, so it's very just pineapple hair instead of what angle are we at? We've got like the double pin hair point and then the color it all in. Instead, it's like nope, pineapple. What's look from the back? Pineapple. What about from the side? Pineapple hair. It's very easy to
do. Yeah, no, I can imagine that. Cool. Yeah, so that was it for the community responses from last week. So yeah, that's it for the end of this episode. Unless either of you have anything you want to add on?
No. What are we doing next week? Let people know.
What, in terms of a topic?
We normally announce that, don't we?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Do we just decide afterwards? I remember we do it on the same day. I suppose it's after we're done.
Yeah,
we do know at least part of what we're doing next week. If we want to talk, say that. But
I mean, did you want us to start doing that?
Yeah.
Are you committing us to that? Okay, fine.
Why not?
We'll start working it out ahead of time now, and we'll announce next week.
Well, it literally is. I do remember what normally once we finish recording, we decide on what we're doing next week. So literally, you'll just bring it ahead by 10 minutes.
Or do it before the recording, and then we know. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right. So, and next week we'll try and get the GIF aside the memes in. So cool.
Memes.
Right. Nasuth, as the host.
Well, thank you all for joining us for another week. It's been a real treat, both of you with me, my dear compatriots. But yeah, you all have a great week. Make sure you watch some good anime and Kanpai!
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 Loz is just too busy looking at his arm. That's how
how it is, how it flips, and it's because I was like, I can rotate it nicely. I was like, wait, when does it break? And it's when it comes close to me. It's something to do with that. Like, it's to do with distance between the chests. It's weird.
Okay, bye.
Cool.